Hari Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, Dandavat Pranams to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in on this most auspicious occasion of Amalaki Ekadashi for the study of teachings of Lord Chaitanya, for the study of the important verses of the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, for Harinam Sankirtan, and for one round of chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, as is the schedule, we will start with Harinam Sankirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, 5 days from today, we are having the most auspicious occasion of Gauranga Mahaprabhu's appearance day. So I thought, we will sing this nice bhajan. This was, I was just listening to this bhajan by His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. So it is, generally we always sing the song Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Karo More, but this is a very, this is almost a similar song, but the lyrics are different. I just got to hear this, is His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj singing. So I thought we will start today's session by singing this, and then we'll do a little bit of Harinam Sankirtan also. Let me share my screen, and then we will sing this bhajan, and then we'll start our session today on the auspicious occasion of Ekadashi. So happy Ekadashi to all the devotees. I hope all of you are part of the festival group, as well as our Brahma Muhurta group, as well as what is the other one? Yeah, our study group. So in this way, we are trying to remember Gauranga Mahaprabhu as much as possible, so that we please Guru and Gauranga, and by their mercy, we can become Gauranga conscious. This is a beautiful song, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Doya Kori. The song is written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and it is from his book Sharanagati. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Doya Kori Swaparshada Sviya Dhama Saha Avatari. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Doya Kori Swaparshada Sviya Dhama Saha Avatari. Atyanta Durlabha Prema Kori Bhare Dhana Shikhaya Sharanagati Bhakatera Prana Dainya Atma Nivedhana Gopatritve Varana Avashara Kshibe Krishna Vishwasa Palana Bhakti Anukula Matra Karyera Svikara Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Varjanangikara Bhakti Anukula Matra Karyera Svikara Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Varjanangikara Shadanga Sharanagati Hoibe Jahara Tahara Prarthana Shune Srinanda Kumara Shadanga Sharanagati Hoibe Jahara Tahara Prarthana Shune Srinanda Kumara Rupa Sanatana Pade Dante Trina Kori Bhakati Vinoda Pode Dahu Pada Dori Rupa Sanatana Pade Dante Trina Kori Bhakati Vinoda Pode Dahu Pada Dori Kandiya Kandiya Bhole Ami सिखाये शरणागति करो हे उत्तम। कांडिया कांडिया भोले हामी तो आडम, सिखाये शरणागति करो हे उत्तम। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु जीवे दया करी, स्वपार्षद श्रिय धाम अवतारी। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय, गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद। गुरुदेव गुरुदेव नमः। विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने, नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे, निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा, श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा, श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधा माधव जय श्री राधा माधव जय बाल गोपाल बाल गोपाल बाल गोपाल जय बाल गोपाल जय जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा जय जय सुदर्शन जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद। गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। हरे राम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद श्री गुरुदेव की जय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरदुषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यमीश्वरं हरिः ओं तत्सत्। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं भङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यमीश्वरं हरिः ओं तत्सत्। आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावदातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वाम्बरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ वन्दे गुरूनीशभक्तानीशमीशावतारकान् तत्प्रकाशं सतच्चक्ति कृष्णचैतन्यसंयुतं वन्दे श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य नित्यानन्दौ सहोदितौ गौरोदे पुष्पवन्तौ चित्रौ छन्दौ तमोनुदौ यदद्वैतं ब्रह्मोपनिषदि तदप्यस्य तनूभायात्मान्तर्यामि पुरुष इति सोषांश विभवः षडैश्वर्यै पूर्णो सेवावान् स स्वयम् अयं न चैतन्यात् कृष्णा जगति परतत्त्वं परमिह अनर्पितचरीं चिरात् करुणयावतीर्णः कलौ समर्पयितुमुन्नतो जुलरसां सुभक्ति श्रियं हरिः पूर्णसुन्दरदुरिकदम्ब सन्दीपितः तदा हृदये कन्दरे सुरतूपः शचीनन्दनः राधा कृष्ण प्रणय कृतिर्लादिनीशनात् एकात्मानावभिपुरदेहभेदं गतौ तौ चैतन्याख्यं प्रकटमधुना तद्वयं चैक्यमाप्तं राधा भावद्युति सुवलितं नौमि कृष्णस्वरूपम् श्रीराधाय प्रणयमहिमा कीदृशो वा नयैव स्वाध्यो येनाद्भुतमधुरिमा कीदृशो वा मदीयः सौख्यं चास्य मदनुभवतः कीदृशं वेति लोभात् तद्भावादः समजनी शचिगर्भसिन्धौ हरिन्दुः कृष्णवर्णं तृषा कृष्णं सङ्गोपङ्गास्त्रपार्षदं यज्ञै सङ्कीर्तनप्रायैर्यजन्ति सुमेधसः वैराग्यविद्या निजभक्तियोगा शिक्षार्थमेकः पुरुषः पुराणः श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यशरीरधारी कृपाबुधौ यस्तमहं प्रपद्ये। Hare Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. So today is 20th of March. So in 5 days, the most auspicious occasion of the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to happen. So Ekadashi is a wonderful day in itself, especially this is the Ekadashi just before Gaura Purnima. So we can all take a sankalpa to chant extra rounds. Normally, what we do on Ekadashi day, we should try to do more. We should try to do more Sankalpa, because we already please Guru and Gauranga when we perform austerities. Like austerities in the sense we perform more chanting, we perform deity worship, we perform Abhishek, Arati, dress the deities, whatever we do. It takes, multiple benefits if you do it on Ekadashi day. But this Ekadashi is very special. This Ekadashi is just before Gaura Purnima. So starting from today, we can take some sankalpa that I will do all these things, right? For pleasing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the 5 days leading to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, very, very special. Because Gauranga Mahaprabhu is the Yuga avatar for this age of Kali. And his appearance means the appearance of his unconditional mercy by which we can attain Krishna Prema. And also, I hope, all these verses which are recited right now, I think most of us would have studied in the last 10, 15 days. We've been studying all these verses. And when we study, initially, I also did not know the verses, right? Some devotees asked me, Mataji, how do you know all these verses? See, how I did during the Brahma Muhurta time, I used to keep the book and recite these verses. And these are all verses glorifying the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when we recite every day, then what happens? We don't know when we are memorizing those verses. Automatically, it will get memorized. So that about 10 verses we have been studying. At least I think we've done about 7 or 8. The next 4 days we will do remaining 3 or 4, what is left out. So when we are studying, initially we study the verse and then we study the meaning. When we study the meaning, then we understand, right? What word, what does it mean, right? When we do 3 times study, like that we do for 10 days, 12 days, 15 days, then automatically when we recite the verse, the meaning will go in our mind. So it's not like we are ratta marifying and we are just telling the verse, right? When you know the meaning, we know what is the Sanskrit word, or the Bengali word. Sometimes we don't also, we know, oh, this is what comes here. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari. That means Krishna has taken the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in that way, we memorize also. At the same time, when we know the meaning, easily we will relate it. And that will help us make us Gauranga conscious. That's why I said 3 times study the verse and the meaning. And then when the verse is memorized, we recite the verse. And when we are reciting the verse, the meaning should go on in our head. In that way, it will percolate to our heart. Right? With the verse, without the meaning is no use. I mean, of course, I cannot say no use. Of course, it has the benefit. These are all verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat. Of course, they have a lot of use. They have a lot of value. But if you want to become Gauranga conscious, then you want to understand the meaning of those words. What does it mean? Vairagya Vidya Nijabhakti Yoga. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is embodiment of Vairagya. Right? He is the Supreme Lord. What is the need for him to take sannyas? Right? But he took sannyas because he can deliver all of us fallen conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. So in this way, develop gratitude. We develop, the helplessness. Right? We express our helplessness when we recite all these verses. Right? When we recite the Shikshashtakam prayers also, we say, right? Unfortunately, I have no taste in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Durdaivam idrisham ihajani nanu raga. Like that. So when we express these prayers given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, the Shikshashtakam prayers and other prayers, it will create a mood of gratitude. It will create a mood of helplessness. It will create a mood of surrender in our heart. And that is the only way by which we can attract the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. So by our own endeavor, Anashaktis, what is that verse? By our own endeavor, we cannot understand Krishna. Right? Swayam eva surati adaha. Ata Shri Krishna namadi na bhaved grahim indriyehi. By our own material senses, even if we stand upside down and perform Ashtanga Yoga, we will not be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ata Shri Krishna namadi na bhaved grahim indriyehi. With this indriya, with this senses, we cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And his nama, rupa, guna, leela, we cannot understand. But Sevon Mukehi Jivadav. When we engage our tongue in the service of the Lord, Swayam eva surati adaha. That means the Lord will automatically reveal himself to us. He will reveal his nama, he will reveal his rupa, he will reveal his madhurya. And in that way, we'll be able to understand the sweetness of the Lord. And that is the only way. There is no other way. Right? So let's quickly move on to preface what we are studying of teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So initially, a couple of paragraphs, what we studied in the preface. Of course, prior to this, we studied the mission of Lord Chaitanya, which is indicated in the 8 verses of Shikshashtakam. That is the only direct teaching that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us. all of the rest of the teachings we'll be studying in the forthcoming chapters, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to Rupa Goswami, teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sanatana Goswami, which are very relevant for us in Kali Yuga. How can we apply the teachings of Bhagavad Gita? That is exactly what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving to Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and through Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami to us. Right? We say how Krishna has also taught us. The Bhagavad Gita is for us, and Krishna has used Arjuna as the via media to teach Bhagavad Gita to us. Like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has used Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami's conversations with Ramananda Rai, Sarva Bhattacharya, all of them to teach these instructions so that we can implement it in our life. So in this chapter, preface, we've seen how Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinatva Nama Namino. The holy names of the Lord and the Lord himself are non-different. And also we saw how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lord Krishna himself, who's come in the mode of Srimati Radharani to propagate the Yuga Dharma, which is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then you also saw how if you have to meet the president tomorrow morning, if the president is going to come to my house and I'm going to have a meeting with him, how much I will prepare for a meeting with the president, right? I will see, how I will sleep early the previous day so that I can wake up in the morning. I can, light lamps or whatever I want to do, however I want to welcome, right? And I want to give exclusive time and attention for the 2 hours or 3 hours, whenever, as long as the president wants to remain in my house, right? If that is the importance that we give to one country's president, we are talking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. So how much of importance we should give? And because we are having the opportunity every day, we take it lightly, right? But we are interacting with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna himself, who is sitting before us as we are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So how much importance we should be giving to this, our exclusive meeting with Shri Radha and Krishna. So how do we associate with the Lord? By chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra during the Brahma Murta time, when our mind is clear, when our mind is not focused on anything else. That is the time we want to offer. We want to offer the best to Krishna, whether it is time, whether it is resources, whether it is food, whether it is bhoga, whatever it is. We want to offer whatever we can to the best of our ability. That is what we want to offer to Krishna. So the best time that we have is what we do first thing in the morning. If something is very important, we do it first thing in the morning. What is most important for us, Sadhaka Bhakta, is to chant Hare Krishna. So we give the most important time in the day to Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and we try to give the best of everything, whatever Krishna has given us. We're just reciprocating back with Krishna by giving him the best of everything that we have. And chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we also studied how that is the best way to awaken our Krishna consciousness to Krishna consciousness already there in our heart. But Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karaya Udaya. Right? We want to reawaken our love for Krishna, and that is possible by chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And even if you are chanting and offensively, right? Prabhupada says in one lecture, continue, chant more and more, especially on days like Ekadashi, like today. You should chant more and more Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When we are chanting more and more, and by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, then we slowly will move from Nama Aparada to Nama Bhasa to Shuddha Nama. Just chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra for the exclusive pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. Right? We also discussed how we are not chanting for our own pleasure. We are chanting to give pleasure to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So with that background, let's continue reading. Devotees can raise your hands and then we can go ahead. So we saw that yoga practice, right? We also saw 6.47, where Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam sami yukta tamomatah. Where Krishna is saying the best of all yogis is the one who connects with me through the process of bhakti yoga, because I am with that person and that person is always with me. But what is the one important ingredient? Shraddhavan bhajate yomam. With faith and with love, you have to engage in the service of the Lord. All right. So let's move ahead. Shri Priya Mataji, go ahead. Yoga practice is essentially meant for controlling the senses. From there.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Pranams.
Yoga practice is essentially meant for controlling the senses. The central controlling factor of all the senses is the mind. Therefore, one has to practice controlling the mind by engaging it in Krishna consciousness. The gross activities of the mind are expressed through the external senses, either for the acquiring of knowledge or the functioning of the senses in accordance to the will. The subtle activities of the mind are thinking, feeling, and willing. In accordance to one's consciousness, the individual is either polluted or clear. If one's mind is fixed on Krishna, his name, quality, form, pastimes, entourage, and paraphernalia, all the one's activities, both subtle and gross, become favorable. The Bhagavad Gita's process of purifying the consciousness is the process of fixing one's mind on Krishna by talking of his transcendental activities, cleansing his temple, going to his temple, seeing the beautiful transcendental form of the Lord, nicely decorated, hearing his transcendental glories, tasting his tasting food offered to him, associating with his devotees, smelling the flowers and tulsi leaves offered to him, engaging in activities for the Lord's interest, etc. No one can bring the activities of the mind and senses to a stop, but one can purify these activities through a change in consciousness. This change is indicated in Bhagavad Gita 2.39 when Krishna tells Arjuna of the knowledge of yoga, whereby one can work without fruitive results. O son of Pritha, when you act by such intelligence, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. A human being is sometimes restricted the sense gratification due to certain circumstances, such as disease, etc. But this is not the prescription. Without knowing the actual process by which the mind and senses can be controlled, less intelligent men either try to stop the mind and senses by force or they give it to them and are carried away by the waves of sense gratification.
Yeah.
Continue, Mataji.
So, no, Mataji. We will try to see what this paragraph is talking about. This paragraph is talking about param drishtva nivartate. Right? We are not saying that I want to give up this, I want to give up that. Right? That will automatically happen. So Prabhupada is saying, if we Savai Manakrishna Padara Vendayor, Vachamshu Vaikunta Gunanuvarana, we saw Ambarish Maharaj, how he engaged all of his senses in the service of the Lord. When we are able to engage all of our senses in the service of the Lord, then our eyes, which want to see all the beautiful things of this world, can be dovetailed by seeing the wonderful darshan of the Lord. Our ears, which are currently interested in hearing Gramya Katha, we can dovetail it by hearing the glories of the Lord. Our feet, which are which want to go for shopping and doing this and that unnecessary things, right? We can utilize our legs in going to the temple of the Lord, doing the parikrama of the Lord. In this way, when we our tongue, which wants to eat palatable stuffs, we control our tongue by offering or by honoring only Krishna Prasadam. Right? In this way, all of our senses can be engaged in the service of the Lord simply by making Krishna in the center of whatever we do. If Krishna is in the center of whatever we do, whether we eat, whether we sleep, whether we walk, whether we talk, whether we hear, whatever we are doing, if Krishna is in the center, then we'll talk about Krishna, hear about Krishna, cook for Krishna, sleep so that we can wake up nicely in the morning and chant Hare Krishna. Right? In this way, when Krishna becomes the center of all the activities that we do, then this is what is Krishna conscious. That means whatever we are doing, whether we are cooking or we are folding the clothes or we are sweeping or mopping or washing the vessels, all that we are doing, we want to do keeping Lord Krishna in the center of whatever we are doing. And that is what is Krishna consciousness, as explained to us by Srila Prabhupada. That's why we don't have to renounce everything and go to the forest. Right? Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells the same thing. Ma manusmara yudhyacha. So that is a prescribed formula that is given by Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada explains in a very direct way in this particular paragraph. Whatever you do, right, do it for Krishna, and then that way become Krishna conscious, like that. Okay, so let's move ahead. Let me share my screen again, and then we can go to the next paragraph. The regulative principles. Yeah, Shri Priya Mataji, you can continue. Yeah.
The regulative principles and the rules of yoga, the various sitting postures and breathing exercise performed in an attempt to withdraw one's senses from the sense objects are methods meant for those who are too much engrossed in the bodily conception of life. The intelligent man who is situated in Krishna consciousness does not try to forcibly stop his senses by acting. Rather, he engages his senses in the service of Krishna. No one can stop a child from playing by leaving him inactive. A child can be stopped from engaging in nonsense by being engaged in superior activities. The forceful restraint of sense activities by the eight principles of yoga is recommended for inferior men. Being engaged in the superior activities of Krishna consciousness, superior men naturally retire from the inferior activities of material existence.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So here also same thing. What is that? We are not forcefully, Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, right? Dhyato Vishayan Pumsan Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Krodod Vijayate, right? Dhyato Vishayan Pumsan. When our mind is absorbed in sense gratification, and what are we trying to do? We are trying to simply shirk it away. And then, oh, I should not be thinking. I should not be thinking of that. I should not be thinking of that. What are we doing? We are thinking of that only. We are telling continuously our mind, I should not be thinking. I should not be thinking. That is the concept of Mayavadis, right? Naiti, naiti, naiti. I should not do that. I should not do that. When I'm telling I should not do, I'm only focusing on that I should not be doing it. But rather, what we should be focusing on is what I should be doing. When I'm focusing on, I should be chanting Hare Krishna nicely in the morning, Brahma Murta time. I should make some nice dress for the deities. I should decorate the deities in such a way. That is what happens as a positive thinking. And when such kind of thinking increases to such a level, then there is no scope in the mind for any of the material things. Like I always give this example. I was very, very inspired by His Holiness Bhakti Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj's example, right? So he was saying, the devotees are like Vaman Dev, are like representatives of Vaman Dev. They come, they say that don't have to do anything, right? You don't have to give up anything. Just start chanting Hare Krishna. 10 minutes of your time. You cannot give Krishna 10 minutes, just start chanting. And then what happens? They take 10 minutes, and then slowly, like there is this Brahmana story also, who does not believe, but the cobbler believes, right? That that Lord Shri Krishna can actually put an elephant into the eye of a needle, right? Very similar. Right, the Lord can do that, right? None of us can imagine, but that's what happens, right? When Krishna enters our life, it is like 10 minutes chanting nahi kar sakte aap log. Please start chanting. And then we don't want to say no to such a nice person, who's just coming and telling something for our benefit. We just say, okay, 10 minute ka to kaam hai. ठीक है, कर लेते हैं उनको बताने के लिए. Like I started like that, right? My uncle used to be in Qatar. Used to be in Qatar and used to he was a leader in Krishna consciousness in Qatar. So I was in 7th, 8th standard at that time in Chennai. So every year he used to come for the holidays, in April, March, April, like that, he used to come to Chennai. Whenever he comes to Chennai, he will ask me, Meera, are you chanting rounds? Then I feel very sad. Why should I tell my uncle no? After all, he's asking only for 5-8 minutes of my time. So what I used to not do every day. From tomorrow holidays are starting, and I know my uncle is coming day after tomorrow. So today I will start chanting. I will start chanting. I will do 1 round. Why? Because day after tomorrow my uncle is coming. He will ask me, "Are you chanting?" And I'm like, I don't want to disappoint him. Why I should tell him I'm not chanting? So I told him, yeah, Chittappa, I'm chanting 1 round. And then he was like, very good. Continue that chanting. And then the day he leaves, that used to be the end of my chanting also. Right? So in that way, when we do something, although we are not interested, although we're just doing, it is like I am doing a favor to him by chanting Hare Krishna. I have done some favor to him, right? And then he is also like, very good, you should chant. Right? No, he feels so blissful and, he feels so much pleasure that I have chanted, that I really feel that I have done something for him by done a favor to him by chanting. That is how devotees, they ask for 5 minutes. And then later on what happens, somehow or the other, in the association of devotees, we get inspired. And Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj was saying, Krishna took so much time, it's starting from 10 minutes, that I didn't have time for anything else other than Krishna, right? And he took sannyas order recently, right? So in this way, Maharaj was saying, right, all devotees of Krishna are representatives of Vamanadev. Right? He came asking only for 3 steps. And Bali Maharaj was saying, asking only 3 steps. I am the king of all the 3 worlds. Heavenly planets, earthly planets, lower planets. Ask for something more. And the Brahmana boy, Vamanadev, he said, no, I am satisfied. Just give me 3 steps. And what did he do? He covered everything in 2 steps. And he asked Bali Maharaj, where should I keep my 3rd step? And then Bali Maharaj had to surrender himself completely. Because he was a devotee of the Lord, he surrendered completely. So in this way, when we try to please Guru and Gauranga, by their blessings, we don't know when we are giving up all the anarthas, when we are giving up all the unwanted things. So we need to focus not on giving up this, giving up that, right? We need to focus only on how much more of Krishna, how much more of the instructions of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Lord Krishna, Guru and Gauranga and Prabhupada we can bring into our lives. So much so that there is no space and time in our life for anything else other than Krishna. So this is how the process of Krishna consciousness works under the expert guidance of our His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so that's what it is. All right, let's move forward. Who wants to read? Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, go ahead. In this way, Lord Chaitanya teaches.
In this, Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranamantini.
Dandavat,
In
Mataji.
this way,
Right.
Lord Chaitanya teaches the science of Krishna consciousness. That science is absolute dry mental speculators try to restrain themselves from material attachment. But it is generally found that the mind is too strong to be controlled, and that it drags them down to sensual activities and activities. A person in Krishna consciousness does not run this race. One has to engage his mind and senses in Krishna conscious activities, and Lord Chaitanya teaches one how to do this in practice before accepting.
Yes,
Hari
Mataji. Yeah, Haribol. So again, Prabhupada is saying the same thing, right? Because we don't say no, 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 right? We always say yes. We can utilize it like this in Krishna service, right? If someone likes to dance, right? We don't tell them, hey, why you are wasting your time doing all this Bollywood dance and don't do all this dancing and all, right? Instead of saying that, what we should tell them, we can nice bhajans are there, right? I saw one beautiful dance, the Shavatar Stotra, the entire Pralaya Payodhijale, right? The entire all the 20 incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the 10 prominent incarnations, very beautiful OTC dance was performed, right? Where all the incarnations of the Lord, the mood of the Lord was depicted. It's not by, somebody was singing, but this person who was dancing was depicting all the bhava and the mood of the incarnation by simply the dance moves. Right? If somebody likes to sing, right? At least I know I was singing so many Bollywood songs, right? Every festival, right? It used to be like, you go out, take the mic and sing in the society. I was doing that, So if you're doubted, if you have some propensity to sing, then utilize that in Krishna service. Sing Krishna bhajans. Sing for the pleasure of the Lord, right? So whatever we are doing, whatever we have an inclination for, right? If we are, chartered accountant, then we can help the, temple by looking after the accounts of the temple. Whatever may be our abilities, right? Krishna has given abilities to everybody. Whatever is our ability, we have to utilize that ability in the service of the Lord. And that is the way we dovetail our senses, right? Prabhupada always says, dovetail our senses. We are not saying, no, I will not do this, right? If you like to string garland, right? Or if you have an, if you can stitch clothes, right? All of that. I heard one devotee, one person, before he used to, stitch a lot of things. You wanted to run a boutique of his own, right? This devotee, Mataji. But now what she does stitching of deities' dresses, and she gives others also, right? In this way, what is she doing? She is utilizing her talent in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is exactly what is dovetailing. We are not saying, no, don't do this because this is materialistic. Because our inclination is so much, we cannot give up certain things. Of course, we have to give up certain things like meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex, all those things, right? At least for people who are born in India, right? It is not so much difficult to follow these four regulative principles. Of course, onion, garlic, and coffee, tea might take some time in the initial time. But other things are quite simple, right? At least we are born in India. We have that sanskar already ingrained in us, right? So it is very, very easy to practice Krishna consciousness because Prabhupada has not told us to give up anything, right? Once we accept the basic regulative principles, then everything is easy because whatever we like to do, we'll do it in the service of the Lord until we come to the stage where we want to do anything and everything according to the instructions of our Shiksha Gurus. No longer are we thinking, do I like to do that seva? Right? That is how we measure our progress. So slowly we have come into Krishna consciousness. We are dovetailing all the activities we like in the Krishna service, but we should not get stuck there, right? We should not get stuck there for a long time. Then we should proceed to that level where we are doing anything and everything for Krishna. If our Shiksha Guru is telling us, right, to do something, or if our Diksha Guru is telling us, they will empower us to do it. Although we may not have the ability, we may think we are totally unqualified, we don't have the ability to do it. But if we have the desire, if we have that surrender towards Guru and Gauranga, then they will empower us to do that seva. That's why we always say, Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate girim, yat kripatamaham mande, Shri Gurun dinatarinam, Paramananda Madhavam, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram, right? If one has the blessing of Guru, Gauranga and Krishna, right? Then what happens? Even a dumb person can speak eloquently. Even a crippled person can cross mountains, right? Only the blessing of Guru and Gauranga has to be there. And that blessing comes. The more we surrender to their instructions, follow their instructions, do what they are saying. If we try with our sincere endeavor to do what they are saying, they will empower us, right? And then we don't know how are we talking? How are we doing the seva? I didn't know at all, right? So that is the empowerment by Guru and Gauranga. All right. So with this, let's end our teachings of Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya session today. Grantaraj, teachings of Lord Chaitanya ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. So now quickly let's move on to our Bhagavad Gita. So today we are reciting important verses and also we'll read the translation and also discuss important verses of chapter number 9 of Bhagavad Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyaksha Dharmyam Susukam Kartumavyayam. Okay, Shobha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, pranams to Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Ittam Uttamam Pratyaksha Kamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartum Abjayam. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the pure knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self-realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and joyfully performed. Haribol, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So this is what we were discussing in teachings of Lord Chaitanya also, right? It's nice they are all related, right? Initially, what do? Susukam kartuma vyayam. Whatever gives us pleasure, we do those activities, but we dovetail it in the service of the Lord. But as we move forward in Krishna consciousness, the activity does not give us pleasure anymore, right? But the very fact that we are doing it as a service for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga, it gives them pleasure. Because it gives them pleasure, automatically that bliss percolates to us, right? Otherwise, material happiness, it cannot be long lasting, right? We may like something now, right? We were talking the other day about samosa, isn't it? When one is having nice, delicious samosa, at that time one receives the information of, for example, my daughter is, she's in the 12th standard right now. Okay, no, let me not give her example. Let us take some other example. What else can I give? Okay, let me take myself, right? So I was working, till 2019, I was working in an office, right? So, I'm having a nice samosa, right? I'm thoroughly enjoying the samosa. And then what happens? It is appraisal time. And then, someone comes and tells me, oh, you have not got promoted. Your friend, this colleague, she has got promoted. And then what happens? The same samosa, hot samosa, which I was relishing and thoroughly enjoying till about a second back. Now it is not tasting so good. I don't want to eat that samosa anymore. Right? Why? Because at a higher level, at a mental level, I'm a little disturbed. Oh, what did I do? I did so much work. I spent 12 hours in the office. I should be getting the promotion. How is it that she's got the promotion? That has eaten my mind. And then what happens? The samosa that I'm relishing is no longer nice. Right? Because at a higher level, I'm experiencing a discomfort. At a higher level, I'm not satisfied. Right? That is why it is said that when our bliss, it's at a spiritual level, it's at the level of the soul, then all of these samosas and all of these, not getting a performance appraisal, not getting very good marks, not getting, the first rank in the class, all those things become very, very immaterial, right? Because we're experiencing bliss at a much higher level, right? So all these things we know will come and go. If not this year, maybe I will get next year. Maybe I will get it next to next year. Whenever I deserve it, I will get it, right? Nothing much, right? I'm getting my salary, I'm working, right? So all these extra things which we think, we cannot live without, we will come to know that we've been living all this while without it, right? So we can live without it even further. And how can I utilize what I already have in Krishna's service? That is more important. So that is why here, in the translation, Prabhupada is saying, Susukam Kartumavyayam. That means initially it starts with performing that particular activity which I like. I dovetail it in the service of the Lord. And as we progress in Krishna consciousness, as we evolve in Krishna consciousness, then what happens? What gives us pleasure is that it gives pleasure to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is why it is a secret of all secrets. right? Secret of all secrets means the more we try to understand. That's why even Mahatma Gandhi and so many people, right? Even ourselves, we can say, we can speak for ourselves also. Whenever we read the Bhagavad Gita, right, always we get some new realization when we study the Bhagavad Gita. That's why we never say, I have completed the study of Bhagavad Gita. No. Once we study one time the Bhagavad Gita, then we study the Bhagavad Gita again, right? And Mahatma Gandhi also tells, right, whenever I open a part of the Bhagavad Gita and read, I get answers to my various questions. So in this way, Bhagavad Gita reveals a lot of secrets. The more number of times we read, our pleasure, our bliss, our understanding, our realizations all grow. That is why it is said to be the secret of all secrets, right? Pratiksha vagamamam dharmyam, and it can be perceived, right? Prabhupada gives example of how when somebody is hungry, right, and that person eats nice palatable Krishna prasadam, right? He does not need to go and ask anybody, am I feeling satisfied, am I feeling full, right? That's not required to be asked to anybody, because that person automatically feels a sense of satisfaction. Similarly, when we perform devotional service with the right mood and the right consciousness, then what happens? Automatically we will derive bliss, because the consciousness with which we perform the service has given pleasure to the Lord. So that's what it is. That's why it's Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmyam. Pratyaksha means can be experienced by realization. Susukam Kartum Avyayam. That bliss can be realized. And that bliss also evolves. Now, with as our consciousness evolves, the bliss in performing the service also evolves. Because only when we derive bliss will we continue that for a long time. Otherwise, it will become like I'm doing for 2-3 times and then I'm getting bored. I don't want to do. Right? That happens with a lot of our material things. Right? We are very interested. We want to do something, but after 2-3 times, boring hai, boring hai. Right? We leave it off, give it up. Right? But it does not happen in spiritual life. Why? Because the more we do it with the right consciousness, Krishna will give us the intelligence, Krishna will give us the taste for performing that service. That is why we are able to continue chanting 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. The devotees are practicing Krishna consciousness, right? So they are chanting. Why is it? Because Krishna gives them the taste by which they are able to go on in practice of devotional service. All right, let's move on to the next verse, 9.4. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Tatam Idam Sarvam Jagat Avyakta Murtina Matsthani Sarva Bhutani Nachaham Teshvavastitaha. Okay, Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, go ahead. Okay, Sindhu Mataji, you want to try?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, okay. Yes, ma'am.
Maya tamidam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina matsthani sarvabhutani nacha hamte savastitaha. Yes.
Translation.
By me in my
unmanifested form,
this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So all beings are in me, but I am not in them. Right? Prabhupada actually tells in the purport. Prabhupada is talking about how the Krishna is maintaining this entire universe. At the same time, Krishna does not take a step out of Goloka Vrindavan. Krishna is eternally existing in Goloka Vrindavan, yet he expands into Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, Karanodakashaya Vishnu, and in this way, the glancing on the material nature happens, and a glancing on Ramadevi happens through through Lord Shiva, and this Mahatattva is created, and then again, Krishna enters into each of those universes, right? Karanodakashaya Vishnu's, the pores, so many universes are getting created, and then Krishna expands into Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. He is in each of the universes. And in each universe, the Brahma comes out of his navel, and Brahma comes to know after performing tapa that I am supposed to do the secondary creation. And Brahma creates, using the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Brahma creates all of the, he makes arrangement for the bodies of the entities. And then what happens? The Lord actually enters into each of them in the form of super soul, Paramatma. And the jivas, the life is also given according to the desire and the karmas of the particular living entity. The soul gets a body according to the past desires, and the Lord also enters as a super soul. So in this way, all of these manifestations are done by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but yet he does not do anything. Like Prabhupada gives the example in one of his lectures about the chief executive officer of the company. Right, the chief executive officer, he does not come to the office every day. Right, maybe he will come once during Deepavali time, to just address the employees like that. Right, so the employees, they don't even know that this person is the CEO. They think that the managing director is the boss. Right, just like sometimes we think that Vishnu is the supreme Lord, right? Because Vishnu manifests everything. No, we don't know that Krishna could be the Lord also. Right, because Krishna does some activities, and then Krishna is already always there in Goloka Vrindavan Dham. Krishna does Ras Leela. Sometimes we become envious of the Lord because the Lord also appears in two-handed form. We're not envious of in one lecture somebody was saying, like, we are not envious of the Tatas and the Birlas. We are not envious of Mukesh Ambani. Why does he have this car? Why does he have such a big house? Right, because we know it is not even within our reach. Why to think of all that? Right, we are happy competing with our neighbor. Right, our neighbor had a Wagon-R car. Now he's having a BMW. I'm still having a Maruti 800. I'm still having a Wagon-R. That becomes difficult for us to digest. Why our neighbor gets a better car? Why our my friend is getting a promotion? That only hurts us. Right, we are not bothered about Mukesh Ambani or Dhirubhai Ambani is having so many fleets of cars and helicopters, because we don't compare ourselves with them. We compare with people whom we relate to. Right, that's why we are envious of Krishna, because Krishna comes in a human form. Krishna has 2 arms only, and Krishna is doing Rasa Leela with the gopis, etc. Right, and what do the common people think? Oh, I can also imitate Krishna. Right, Krishna is, after all, he's having 2 hands only. Right, that's why Prabhupada says, before you go to the Rasa Leela pastimes, you first read and understand how Krishna picked up the Govardhan hill with a small finger of his left hand. Right, how he killed Putana, how he killed Tranavrata, and how he killed all of these demons when he was 3-4 days old. Right, so we need to understand the greatness of Krishna before we enter into the sweetness of Lord Sri Krishna. Right, so this particular verse, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina, talks about the greatness of the Lord. How the Lord gets everything done simply by when he wants the world to be created, he just glances on, he just he does not even directly glance, right? Because he's busy in the spiritual world. In Goloka Vrindavan, he's busy with Srimati Radharani, with the gopis, the gopas. He's playing, he's dancing, and whatever he's doing. He does not even personally glance. For that also, the glance is through Lord Shiva, right? And the glance is on the, Maya Devi. And then the Mahatattva gets created, right? And even though, originally it is done by Vishnu only, right? Shiva is also like an instrument only in this process. The desiring has always starts with the original desire is from Krishna. Then only starts expanding, right? And then the glance happens on Rama Devi, and then through Shiva's glance to Parvati, and then this material world gets created. That's why Parvati Devi, Shiva and Parvati are called the father and mother of this universe, right? And Durga Devi is the fortress of this house, right? When somebody perfects the life, then Durga Devi will allow that person and give in the care of Yoga Maya, right? So we understand in this verse, right? Matstani sarva bhutani, I am there everywhere, right? Kan mein hai. Right? Stavara Jangame deke tare murti. That's why devotees see the Lord in everything, whether it is some plant or an animal or a tree or a human being or anything, lion, tiger, whatever may be. What we see, a crow or a pigeon, whatever we are seeing. Right? A devotee sees the Lord being present as a super soul in everybody. Right? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Kavi Hastini Shuni Cheva Swapakaicha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Right? A devotee always sees Krishna in everything, because he knows that even in a pig's body, right, Krishna is so merciful that he's appeared as a super soul, even in a pig's body, even in a crow's body, even in a, what else? Anything, right? Even everything that is conscious, even in the tree's body, right? Krishna is present there as a super soul, right? Anything that is living, right? Krishna is personally accompanying such a living entity like that, right? But I am not in them. What does it mean? I am not in them. And not in them means, if we, like for example, they talk about Daridra Narayan. That means what? Everybody has got super soul in the heart. When Krishna appears in this world, Krishna is affected by Maya. That's why people think that when I perfect my life after going through all these regulative principles, chanting Hare Krishna, then I come out of illusion. What happens? Then I become God. I will become God because I am out of illusion now. Right? Because they practice Ashtanga Yoga, they make some coins, they can make vibhuti powder, everything they can give, then they think I'll become God now because I'm creating vibhuti powder and coins, right? But Prabhupada says, what is the real problem of life? Are you above birth, death, disease, and old age? If you're able to conquer that, then we can accept that you're God, right? Because unless the real problems are solved, all these coins, what can you do? Yeah, after 10 days, you will lose all the coins, and then you will have to again perform Ashtanga Yoga and perform more siddhis. Like Vishwamitra Muni, he lost all his tapo bhala when he got he got titillated by Menaka's ankle bells. Right, he didn't even have to open his eyes and see her. All of his tapo bhala got lost, and then what did he do? He has to again perform tapa in order to get back his power, right? So what is the use? Everything goes away, and then again and again you have to strive, right? So we don't want such results which go away with time, which fade away with time. We want Krishna prema. We want eternal service at the lotus feet of the Lord, where we don't have to artificially try and obtain anything. We are happy with whatever we have, and we engage it in the service of the Lord. Because that's what the Lord is saying. The Lord is renounced. The Lord does not say that, I am the creator, I am the maintainer, though you worship only me. Right? The Lord says, the Lord gives us the free will. If you want to worship Ganesha, you worship Ganesha. Then you go to the planet of the Ganesha. Right? Yanti deva vrata devan, pitran yanti pitra vrata, bhutani yanti bhuteja, yanti mandi ajinopima. You worship ghosts and spirits, you go to their planet. Whatever you want, you worship. And accordingly, you will get the results. Right? Krishna has framed this law of karma. Right? You do this, you want this, you go there, you enjoy, and then you come back. And then you again strive for it. All within this Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. But if someone is intelligent enough and someone does not want to revolve in this material world of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, enjoying and suffering, then one becomes intelligent. Bahunam Janmanam ante Jnanaman mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatmasu durlabha. Such a great soul is very rare when one understands Krishna is the Supreme Lord, right? He has created all of these universes, right? So it is my duty to serve the Lord and go out of this material world to that place where I can eternally serve him. And that is why, to understand that only, Krishna is giving us so many verses where we understand his greatness and then not be titillated by this Maya's illusory energy, but want to go back to that Lord who's created this material world, which is only 1/4 of the total creation. Right? Next couple of verses are going to talk about the greatness of the Lord, how he pervades the entire universe, and yet he is unattached. He is not there in each one of them. He's not there every day to poke his nose into the laws of karma. Right? But if he's Swarat, if whenever he wants to offer any blessing, he's not within the law of karma. Right? He can immediately elevate all of the sinful reactions of a particular person if he wants to do so. But he chooses not to interfere with the laws of karma. That's why he is there. Everything happens by his will, yet he is not in everything like that. By his own choice. Okay, next verse, 9.10. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Adhyakshena Prakritihi Suyate Sacharacharam Hetunanena Kaunteya Jagad Viparivartate. Okay, Sindhu Mataji, go ahead.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. 9.10. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate Cha Characharam Hetunanena Kaunteya Jagat Viparivartate.
Thank you, Mataji. So, Maya Adhyakshena. Adhyakshena means I am the leader, I am the controller. Everything happens under my direction. So the Prakriti or this material world works under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is speaking this verse, right? Bhagavan Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Maya, right? I am the controller of Prakriti. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. Suyate sa characharam. Suyate means everything is going on its own. Right? Krishna does not have to be personally present. Brahma is automatically creating secondary creation. And even the living entities are, creating their own progenies. Everything is going on. Second level, third level creation. Everything is going on its own. But everything is happening under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Suyate sa characharam. Hetu nanena kaunteya jagad viparivartate. Jagad viparivartate. That means again and again, according to the desire of the Lord, this world is created, annihilated. This world is created, annihilated. This is the 1/4 section of Lord's creation, which is continuously annihilated and created, right? But that part of the world, where Krishna says, that part of the world, which is the spiritual world, which is called para prakriti. Prakriti is material nature. Para prakriti is that spiritual world is never annihilated, and that place is always eternal, like that. Okay, so that's why we need to desire to get out of this world and go to that world where we can eternally serve Krishna, where there is no annihilation, where there is no time, where there is no anxiety, right? So in that place we can serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All right, 9.11. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Avajananti Mamudha Manushim Tanumashritam Param Bhavam Ajananto Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. Okay, Sudha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji pranams.
Hare Krishna pranam.
Avajananti ma moda manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be." Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So that's what we were talking about. The Mayavadis and all of these people who are so much into sense gratification, right? Because we want to go to the Lord only because we want to get some kind of deal, right? We were talking the other day about this shopkeeper, right? When we have 10 rupees, we go to the shopkeeper. Every day we give 10 rupees. We ask for a Kit Kat chocolate. That person is going to give us that Kit Kat chocolate. Right? He's not going to tell, Arey, yesterday only you had a chocolate, today again you're having, it will affect your teeth. Right? Is he bothered? No. As long as he's getting 10 rupees, he's going to give you Kit Kat. So that our relationship with the Devatas are like our relationship with the shopkeepers. Right? If we have the karmic credit, if we have 10 rupees, that if we have the karmic credit to fulfill our desire, then our desires will get fulfilled. But whether the fulfilling of that desire is good for us or not is not what the demigods are thinking. Right? When we pray to the demigod, when we, I don't know, generally they say you break a coconut for Ganesha. I don't know, whether, in one class, some devotee was saying, right? It is not that Ganesha wants coconuts, right? We want to break a coconut for 35 rupees and then we want to get a 3.5 million job in the United States, right? We will break a 35 rupees coconut like that. So, I don't know, but it works. Like in the Karma Kanda section, there are certain austerities given. Like if you worship Lakshmi Devi, if you worship Ganesha, if you worship Lord Shiva, you'll get a beautiful wife. If you worship Ganesha, all your obstacles will be removed. Like that, it's given in the Karma Kanda sections of the Vedas. If you do proper worship, that itself is very difficult in Kali Yuga, but somehow if we manage to do that kind of worship, then what happens? Ganesha or, Kartikeya or, our Saraswati Devi, whoever we worshipped, they are capable of giving us what we prayed for, provided we do worship properly. That is not possible in Kali Yuga. That is another point, but then we will get it. But then we don't know whether that is the right thing, right? We may get an admission into an institute because we prayed so much. But when we go there, we think that, oh my God, I cannot study this. This is not to my taste. This is completely different from what I expected. Maybe we go to the US and then the climate is not at all suiting us. We are getting backache, we are getting cold, we are getting cough, we are getting diseases. And then we thought we go to America, in this place, we get this job, our life is, success is already attained. We go there and we see 10, 15 problems are already arising after we go there. Right? So whatever we think is best for us need not be the best for us, because what we have is a very myopic vision. But what the Supreme Lord has planned for us, right? One devotee was saying in the class, if something goes according to our plan, very good, right? The Lord has approved our plan. But if something does not go to our plan, it is even better. Why? Because it's now going to happen as per the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is definitely going to be better than our plan, right? Because the Lord is Suhradam Sarva Bhutanam. He is our well-wisher. He is our best friend. So he will plan something which is the best for us, right? And because he's got a long-term vision, right? He knows my past, he knows my present, he knows my future. So accordingly, Krishna will plan the best for us, right? So when we have this kind of faith, who can have this kind of faith? That's what is given here, right? Fools don't have this kind of faith. So who has this kind of faith? Only those people who have faith in the Lord, who engage in the service of the Lord, they only can understand that they only can understand the transcendental nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Other people, what do they think? They think that they are the master of their lives. And in this way, they take decisions, they get frustrated, and they do punas charvita charvanana. They get beaten down, and then what happens? They again try, they get beaten down, and then they go to motivational speakers who say, don't give up, try. keep trying. That is a very nice motivational speaker. And the motivational speaker only will not be able to try at a particular point when he needs to leave his body. Right? So we don't try simply. Right? We do try, but we act the directions of Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu, because that is going to help us eternally, not just to get what we want at the time being. Right? All right. Let's move ahead. 9.12 Shri Bhagavan Vacha Mogasha Moga Karmano Moga Jnana Vichetashaha Rakshasim Asurim Chaiva Prakriti Mohinim Shrutaha. Monimala Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Gandhavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Gandhavat.
Moghasa Karmano Mogo Gyata Vicheshato Rakshasi Masuring Choivo Prakriting Mohining Srita. Translation done by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In their diluted condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Well, Mataji, thank you.
Yeah. So here we are talking about, right, if we have sattvic tendencies, then we want to acquire something, and then we pray to the demigods, we try to acquire that. If we don't get, then we get frustrated, and after we get frustrated, continuous frustration, and then we understand that this material world is not a place for gentlemen. So what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to go back to that world which belongs to us, which is the world of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? Until then, what are we doing? If we have demonic tendencies, right, we want to become better than the other. We try to pull down people. We want to be part of the rat race. We want to achieve this. We want to do that. We are passionate. We are ignorant. When we are doing all of this, and what happens? All of our knowledge will be defeated. We will face defeats continuously, one after another. And then we realize, Arey yaar, what is it? What is wrong? I'm doing so much effort. What is happening? And then we get deluded, and then sometimes we want to take shelter of somebody. At that time, when somebody comes with a book, Prabhupada's book, this can help you with your anxiety, and then you want to take it. Sometimes we see people, they want to take a book, right? Because they are at that particular time in their life when they are completely frustrated. Why is this? Why is it happening with me? Why me like that? So take a book, and then they are such people who immediately become devotees because they are so ripe, they are so frustrated, right? With the material life, that they take up to this path of Krishna consciousness very easily, right? That's what is the next verse going to talk about, right? Mahatmanas tu mam partha daivim prakriti mashrataha, right? The supreme, the person who is, who materially exhausted, who understands that, this material world is not the place where I want to, continuously try and labor hard, because there is nothing that is worthy of tasting in this material world, because everything is chewed and it leads to frustration. When one understands this, then one actually starts taking up this process of Krishna consciousness. That's what is the next verse talking about. 9.13 Shri Bhagavan Vacha Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakritim Ashritah Bhajanti Ananya Manaso Nyatva Bhutadima Vyayam. Okay, Jyoti Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritaah bhajantyananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. Translation by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pritha, those who are not educated, the great souls.
Not deluded.
Not eluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So these people are intelligent people, right? Because they are materially exhausted, or because of their previous life activities and desires, they come up to the stage of accepting that Supreme Personality of Godhead is Lord Shri Krishna, and I have to engage in his service. They are under the protection of the divine nature. And because of that, what do? They engage themselves continuously in serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When a person engages continuously in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then one gets inclination to perform more and more devotional service, because he's guided by the Lord from within the heart and guided by the devotees, Guru from outside, and Shastra and Sadhu from outside. And then they understand the original position of the Lord, and they understand their own position as the servant of the Lord. And then what do? That is what is given in the next verse. We'll end with this verse and then we'll start chanting one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. What do these people do? 9.14. Very, very important verse. We should try to by heart this verse. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yatantascha Dridha Vritah Namasyantascha Mam Bhaktya Nitya Yukta Upasate. So this is what a devotee is supposed to be doing. What are we supposed to do? Who'll read? Okay, I'll read. Okay, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said. Okay, now Kishori Mataji, go ahead. You raise your hand, then only I can find you to unmute. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Oh, where are you? Okay, no problem. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me. These great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Right? So what are we supposed to do? Right? Even if we are not doing, this is what we are supposed to be doing. Right? Krishna is saying this is what the devotees do. What do? Always chanting my glories. Endeavoring with great determination. Yatantascha drida vrata. Drida vrata means with great determination. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya. Always bowing down before me. Nitya yukta upasate. Nitya means you also say Nityam bhagavata sevaya. Always, eternally, connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by worshipping the Lord with devotion. Upasate means to worship the Lord. And satatam kirtayantomam. Always. Satatam means always. Nitya means always. So in this verse, there are two words which indicate that eternally we have to do this. What is that? Satatam kirtayantomam. Always chanting my glories. Yatantasya dridhavrataha. Endeavoring with great determination. Namasyantasya mam bhaktya. Offering obeisances to the Supreme Lord. Nitya yukta upasate. Eternally, these devotees worship me with devotion. If you're not doing any of this, we are supposed to do this, right? So we will take it up and then we have to do this, right? So today we can study this verse. We can try to memorize this verse. All right. Otherwise, we'll do it after the Gaura Purnima, because already we have one more verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita that we need to by heart. So this we will do. We will take this up quite regularly when we are doing after our Gaura Purnima. That time we will do this very, very sincerely. We'll try to memorize the important verses from the Bhagavad Gita. All right. So, Grantaraj, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now is practicals, right? Theory is over. Now next 7 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, we're going to do practicals. What are we trying to do? Or what Krishna told? Satatam kirtayantomam. Even if we cannot do Satatam, we can do for 7 minutes, right? We cannot do Satatam, at least do for 7 minutes, 7 minutes at least. Right? So all the devotees very, very nicely switch on your cameras. I can already see Shri Priya Mataji, Rajneesh Prabhu, Rohini Mataji, Shobha Mataji, Vijayalakshmi Priya Mataji. Vijayalakshmi Priya Mataji, it is 1 o'clock in the morning. Vijayalakshmi Priya Mataji can switch on the camera. Everybody can switch on the camera. Right? Thank you so much, Vijayalakshmi Priya Mataji. You are the greatest inspiration. I thank you for your association. Sudha Mataji, Suprabha Sumitra Mataji, Nav Kishori Mataji, Sneha Prabha Mataji, Sarva Gopeshwari Mataji, very nice. Mansi Mataji, very nice. Thank you so much. Rishabhanu Kanya Mataji, Karpagali Mataji, Meenakshi Shankar Mataji. Okay. So 3/4 of the population. That means this entire population is spiritual world. Looks like. Out of the 5-6 rows, 3 rows are full. Okay. Harjeet Mataji, very nice. So thank you. We are inspiring each other, right? The next 7 minutes, 6 to 7 minutes, we're going to sit in a proper posture, right? Shukhasan or whatever posture is comfortable. And then what are we going to do? We are going to chant in a proper prayerful mood. And then we are going to pronounce the Mahamantra very, very clearly. Right? We are not going to chant 16 rounds. Right? We're going to only chant 1 round. And that too, every mantra, we're going to think that I'm going to chant only this one mantra. This one mantra is going to deliver me and going to take me back home, back to Godhead. This is my last mantra in this life. Right? Like that, we will chant every Mahamantra of this 1 round. Only 1 round. Right? If somebody else is 1 round, you chant properly, go back home, back to Godhead. What will be our consciousness? And Krishna is sitting next to us. right? Our Guru Maharaj is sitting next to us, Prabhupada is sitting next to us. This one round we are going to chant like that. Abhinatva Nama Namino. This is my personal association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So we will sit in a proper prayerful mood, with proper posture, and with proper pronunciation, and hearing the Mahamantra very clearly, right? We will hear our own Mahamantra, right? So we will start with the prayers. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini. Okay, and devotees who want to time your round, I generally record my one round every day, and then I play back later in the afternoon. Then I know what is my chanting level. Generally, when I take 5.5 minutes for one round, I know I have gobbled up some part of the Mahamantra. Right? Sometimes I take, if I take less than 5 minutes, then it is very bad chanting. Right? Between 5.5 to 6.5 minutes is generally recommended. Right? In that way, when we chant, even then we have to record and play back in the afternoon. Right? When we play back in the afternoon, we know whether we are skipping beats. I also count and see whether I'm chanting 108 times. Because sometimes in the Brahma Muhurta time, especially when it comes to close to 7:30, right, the time for finishing our rounds, फटाफट हो जाता है ना, हमको खत्म करना है ना हमारा 16 rounds. That is why we should never stick to 16. 16, Prabhupada said minimum 16 rounds. If we stick to 16, our 16th round will be the worst round. Because हमको कुछ करना है काम, अभी 16 rounds खत्म करके करेंगे वो काम, है ना, जल्दी से खत्म हो जाए, बाकी काम है ना. That is not the consciousness. That is why we should chant minimum 17-18 rounds. Right? Those who join in the morning, we chant 17 rounds, but minimum 17-18 rounds you have to chant. Then only there is no urgency. खत्म करना है ना. The last round ऐसा हो जाता है तो भी extra round ही होता है ना वैसा. हमारा prescribed rounds तो ठीक तरह से किया हम लोगों ने. So like that we should try to trick the mind. Somehow we have to trick our mind. Mind will give us a lot of excuses, but we trick our mind, and minimum 16-17 rounds we want to chant properly for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. And then extra rounds, it's okay. We are trying to please the Supreme Lord. Today we have all taken Sankalpa. We're all going to chant extra rounds. So in this one round, we will invest all of our energies to chant proper round, seeking the blessings of Guru and Gauranga as we chant this round. So devotees who want to record it and play back later may do so. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I think most have finished their rounds. So I've taken 6 minutes and 45 seconds for this round. So you all can time and we can play back our chanting to check how have we chanted, right? So we can do this at least for one round in the when we are chanting, and then we can play it back later in the afternoon and see how our chanting is for that particular. We can take that particular round as a representative of our chanting for that particular day. Like that we can do. Hare Krishna. So Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Kaliyuga Padita Pavan Hare Krishna Maha Mantra ki jai, Granth Raj teachings of Lord Chaitanya ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So in case anyone has any query or query or anyone wants to share your realizations, I hope everyone are part of the Ekadashi Japa Sankalpa group. I've given your Sankalpa chanting extra rounds today, and also part of the festival group. Somebody asked in the chat box, where are these verses? So we've been studying these verses. Please join our festival group. I've posted the links. So we can memorize these verses and we can try to become Gauranga conscious. And you're also part of the Brahma Murta chanting sessions. So in this way, we invest our time to please the Lord during the time that is most important for us, the early Brahma Murta time, and the Lord will give His mercy by which we will get taste. Right? We will invest little bit faith and then we will get more faith to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai, Ekadashi Mahavrata ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So everyone can unmute themselves now. Anyone wants to say anything, share anything, then we can do that. Otherwise, we will end the session and continue our chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevcha
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय
जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि
हरि हरि
बोल
बोल हरे कृष्ण
हरे कृष्णा thank you happy Ekadashi
There is a question in the chat box, Mataji.
oh there's a question on the chat box
Yes, Mataji. Lata Mataji asked and she left, I think.
oh wearing kanti and eating onion sometimes under unfavorable conditions okay so Mataji is not there so we'll take up the question and Mataji is joining our session next. All right. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Pranams to all. Hare Krishna.